you said, you use your watch and let it beep and kind of be your audible reminder. What about people that are such a slave to that electronic device? They look down at that, they look at their watch, and that is who they are today. They're either good or bad. What do you have? What kind of advice do you have for people that really just like, man, they weigh their self-worth on what the number says here or the power output or whatever without understanding the bigger picture of what they did yesterday or what they've been doing, they've been sick? What's your advice for people that are just so dialed into that metric as being them?
Well, I think that it's societal. I think we've become more technologically reliant, right? We've put so much at the precipice of our fingertips with like the capabilities of our smartphone, with all this biofeedback, neurofeedback, different sensory stuff. So we've become conditioned. So I think it's about having the understanding that, okay, now I'm starting to let this thing dictate what I'm doing, and it's impeding, right? Because I think a lot of times that can be a limitation. Like we'll condition ourselves to believe that we can only hold like, this pace or this power or this heart rate or these different things. And so we'll put a governor on our own performance when in fact, like we're capable of a lot more. And I won't act like I have all of the same stuff, so I use it all. But however, I have it's accidental how I've stumbled into it personally. But like triathlon, I mean, numerous times my power meter has not spun up onto the bike, so I just ride, and my watch, the heart rate things died on me, and so I've experienced racing without that. And you just ride on feel because you've done the training and you know what that feels like. So trusting yourself to not overcook. And I think that comes with experience too. So I think there is a combination there. But one of the biggest proponents I've met ever for this is Dave Scott. He's a 6-time Ironman world champion. I've had the pleasure pre-COVID of swimming, in his master's group, swim like out here in Boulder. And that's one of the things that he encourages all the athletes to do, is to kind of do training sessions without that stuff. So you're building in the comfort of like learning that feel, because that may disappear, because that's a hindrance as well. If we live by it, then we die by it when it's taken away. And if you haven't trained yourself to be able to do that, then you're gonna be more reluctant to hit the gas or to go to where your body is able to. So those days that you can't account for on race day, when you forgot to change your little CR to 2032, your Garmin, you didn't charge
that damn thing.
All those different things, right? Like all the little boxes, they're gonna happen when you're in endurance sports. That there's too much time. Endurance, so many different things can happen. So that can be a limitation when we live by it. Like, oh, okay, am I hitting it right? And it's just about having that understanding and that comfort and working with your coach. I think to kind of work through that in training and not be as over reliant, because that can be a major impediment on the day that it takes a play off.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And you were spot on when you said, we're so technologically reliant. You said a lot of other big words in there, but that's the one that caught my attention. And slow it down just a bit. No, but I think you're absolutely right. We're a slave to the technology. We can't sit across the table from someone and watch them pick up their phone and not pick up our phone. That's just what we do. And so you add that into training and stuff that we obsess about, and it becomes a real nightmare at times. And we forget what it feels like to feel. We kind of lose that connection. So